oftentimes I'm asked the question, what is the difference between prayer and meditation? And how is it possible to integrate these practices? What makes prayer powerful? And how is meditation connected to the practice of prayer? So if you're just joining us, we're just going to begin by taking a few relaxing breaths. Now, whether you call it prayer or intention, strong desire, motivation, you could call it any one of these things. And when we talk about it today, it's not so much of prayer in that religious context that we know of being down on our hands and knees praying to some anthropomorphic God out there, but more an experience of prayer as a meditation, and that it can actually help us achieve greater calm and peace inside of ourselves, perhaps even more quickly than just the practice of meditation alone. So we're going to talk about that today a little bit as well. If I were to describe these practices and how they work together, meditation is a practice of emptying the mind. You're clearing the mind. And oftentimes people have this perception of having to do that and that it's really hard to actually empty the mind. There's always going to be thoughts that come up. But through that practice of just watching your own mind from a detached and neutral perspective, you'll start to experience that your mind waves start to slow down. It's not as fast, it's not as discursive or distracting. The mind is able to come to a more single pointed focus in the present moment. And that helps us to drop into stillness and to experience a deep inner peace. And with that inner peace, a deep welling joy and energy that starts to emerge, a deep connection. To use an analogy, meditation is like weeding the garden. Our mind is a garden. We're weeding out the discursive thoughts, the distracting thoughts, the unproductive thoughts, and we're clearing out the mind. So that is how I would describe the practice of meditation, is making the soil fertile, preparing the soil of your inner garden. The way I would describe prayer or intention is planting a seed in that garden. So now you're utilizing the soil that you've cultivated and you're planting a seed to create something that's beautiful, that's purposeful, that can benefit others, so that seed that you plant can yield many other seeds. And that's how I would describe these practices together, is that meditation helps cultivate a really vast, receptive, rich, fertile space. It's pure potential. Meditation is more of a passive, it tends to be a passive practice. And when you apply intention or prayer, it becomes more dynamic, it becomes active. And that becomes a dynamic meditation in action. And if you are joining us, most of you know that I often talk about how important it is to take your meditation practice and really apply it to all parts of your life. And this is what the practice of intention, really understanding the place that we're coming from, the place that we're operating from. Is it a place of ego? Our ego is comprised often of fears, unconscious blocks, insecurities, And oftentimes we might not even know that we are motivated by fear or anxiety. So our way of being in life tends to be avoidance or distraction, or it's hard to be with yourself and just be still because there's so much under the surface that is waiting to come up and be revealed. So meditation is that practice of revelation. Meditation helps us to see through our stream of thoughts, our constant stories, everything that's happening within our inner landscape. And from that place, we can see, am I acting from my ego or am I acting from my true self? Meditation is a practice of bringing us back to our true self. Some people call that self-realization. Some people call that liberation. Some people call it authenticity. Meditation is a practice of bringing us back to our true self. So then we can ask, am I acting from ego or am I acting from my soul, my spirit, my true self? And when we act from spirit, that is when we start applying this energy of prayer or prayerful intention into our lives. And if you're able to cultivate this calm, clear space inside yourself, if you can imagine a still, clear lake, and you were to have an intention, a focused, pure, clear intention that you, let's say you throw a pebble in that lake, and the pebble drops into the lake and it creates these concentric circles, these perfect concentric circles. And this is how prayer works. It's like sending energy, a tone, a resonance, a vibration out into the universe, all corners of the universe. There's no place where it doesn't flow because there's no resistance inside of you. And when we're able to achieve a flow state through meditation and then apply that focused, clear intention, then our inner desire can manifest, can be realized much more quickly. And that desire, which we all have a right to own, and I mean, this goes into another topic, but I'm talking about our true heart's desire, what our soul really wants, what's important and integral to ourselves as a spirit. So our true heart's desire can be realized through meditation and prayer. And that is like a resonance that gets sent out. And what makes that powerful is the level of our own feeling, emotion, desire that we have during our practice. And it's okay to, I believe in passionate meditation. Meditation is not this asexual, neutered, boring experience. It's rich, it's dynamic, it's full of energy, full of potency, it's passionate. You can experience a level of ecstasy and bliss and enormousness through this practice of meditation. And I think people often make these all separate. They tend to separate our desire, separate what it is that we really want, and we can actually channel our intense desire and passion through meditation and prayer. Many people have had that experience of hitting rock bottom, just hitting rock bottom and not having any hope, and literally surrendering and having a prayer, a really strong prayer from the heart. It's raw, it's vulnerable, it's intense. And have you ever noticed how those prayers move mountains in your life? that those prayers really work, that those prayers become powerful. So if you combine these practices, they really enhance each other. And like I said, meditation is more of this passive practice of watching and observing, being detached from our normal conscious mind that goes around every day, and it's kind of like in this story and that story and past and future, and it's always dancing around at this certain level. Prayer is this ability to focus our attention higher, to really focus on what's important, and to channel our energies in a direction that is aligned to our soul. And at that level, you start creating at the level of your soul, which is really powerful. If you think about how powerful you are beyond your gender, beyond your background, beyond your ethnicity, whatever it is, if you think about how powerful you are as a spirit and you start creating at that level, you'll start to notice a lot of fast manifestation, a lot of synchronicity, a lot of flow, because you are creating at the level of what you could call your dharma, which is your life path or your soul purpose. And when you start creating at that level, Joseph Campbell talked about this, magic hands start to come in and help you create step by step your life path, and it becomes a magical, wondrous, amazing, rich life path. It's not a path that's devoid of challenges, but it's a path that is made for you, and you know that you're living it because it's fresh, it's unique, it's different, it's part of your passion. So this is how you can combine these practices. We're actually going to be hosting I guess first we have this prayer series that we're going to give out as a video series. So if you're interested in that, we don't have the information together. You can email us. You can contact us through meditation.com or info@suracenter.com for more information about that. But it really takes you step by step about how to apply these practices together from a non-religious standpoint. So we're not talking about all the dogma, doctrine, and baggage that has often come with that practice of prayer, about everything that we've learned through the Catholic Church. This is a new practice, and some people refer to it as law of attraction. Some people have learned about it through The Secret. Some people call it manifestation. I mean, whatever you want to call that. I would say the difference in the way that we want to share and facilitate that is not through creating by the ego, or just saying, I want more money because of this, or I want these external things to make myself happier. It's actually this process of internal transformation, having that prayer to the divine, universe, God, that higher power, or whatever it is that may be that inspires you. When you have that inner prayer, that rich dialogue that's happening, that can start to initiate true change and transformation within. God, change me. Help me release the blocks from having this experience. I want to have a new experience of this. And in that way, prayer can become healing and transformative and powerful. And it can help us realize our dreams, realize our true desires more quickly than if we weren't operating at a really high conscious level. So that becomes a very conscious, co-creative process with everybody who's around you, the universe, and it you really get to start to receive the benefit of what it is that's truly important to you and what you want to experience. So it's really about creating through our energy and seeing how our energy, and especially when we're balanced and we're centered and present, how powerful and how rich it can be for our own prayer practice, for our own intentions. That by being centered, by being balanced, by being relaxed, we're actually able to achieve a flow state, an inner flow state, more quickly than if we were trying and striving to something that's out there and using all our energy in a way that we perceive as out there rather than inviting it from within and having that intention within, that vibration within you, and being able to create from that place. So when we are connected to our heart energy, our soul energy, it permeates, it's much stronger, it sends out a much stronger signal, and sometimes we can feel that internal shift that happens. Even after we pray, how peaceful we feel afterwards, how much more connected. And so it is a very extensive series. I won't go into it here, but if you are interested, you can contact us through the website or through info@suracenter.com. We're going to have a year-long retreat online next year. So feel free to contact us about that. And if you have questions, why don't we go through this guided experience together? So this is about a guided, we'll call it a guided meditative prayer. If you're just joining us, feel free to join in and we'll have an experience of this together. And I'm also going to address your questions and also your comments afterwards. So wherever you are, letting yourself find a calm, peaceful place. And with some relaxing breaths, breathing in through the back of your heart, and then exhaling, letting go through the front side of your heart. Again, breathing in. As you breathe in, feel your heart center soften and relax. And exhale as you breathe out, completely letting go. And feeling that sensation of total relaxation moving through your whole body. Allowing your breath to also relax. And feeling that opening through the heart every time you breathe in and breathe out through the heart. Letting yourself sink into your heart center as if you're resting in the back of your heart. And now at this time, consider a prayer or a request, something that you would like to receive help on, or that you'd like to change or shift. And just take that into consideration now at this time. Gently holding that in your attention. And now think about someone or something that inspires you spiritually. And this could be a deity, it could be angels, it could be people that you love. And think about whoever or anything that deeply inspires you, that brings you personally to a higher place inside of yourself. And as you do that, become aware of the inner feelings in your body, the cadence of your breath. Just being aware of that, of your true inner feeling. And again, come back to what it is that you have a request about. Come back to your inner prayer, your intention, your question, and just let yourself come back to that without having to get an answer or to know exactly what to do. Just bring it back into your awareness now in this moment. Allow yourself to just consider it, just to contemplate it. And as you contemplate your prayer, be aware of your body, your breath, your energy. And allow yourself to feel that calm and peacefulness. Just allowing yourself to have a sense of calm and peacefulness. And then we'll close with a feeling of gratitude. Gratitude for the people that we love. Gratitude for that which inspires us spiritually, the people that we look up to. Could be archangels, it could be spirit guides, it could be God in your mind. Just having that sense of gratitude. And then gently letting it go and surrendering your request. And surrender is such an important aspect of realizing our prayer, is that letting go, so that it can return back to us through the form of intuition, through the form of guidance, through the form of inspiration. And taking this time to also listen. So anytime we want to pray, it's so helpful to cultivate inner quietude. And that could be by spending a little more time alone, by being in nature, by going in retreat. But having that quiet time so that we can really listen and pay attention. And when we go into these deeper states of contemplation and reflection, we're able to access the answer, to receive the answer to our prayer or our intention more readily. We're receptive because we've created that space. So this is, in a sense, both, I feel, in art and science, to a practice of prayer that is just your own. You know, it's something that you make that's personal to you, that is working for you. And these are just some concepts and a framework and guidance for you to develop your own practice and really get to experience how meditation enhances prayer and how prayer enhances the practice of meditation. And in fact, they're not two separate practices actually. They're simply a reflection of one whole practice. But we have separated them in our society as we know it, but they are actually reflections of one whole practice. And we start to experience that symbiotic nature of being in flow with the universe when we are, in a sense, living our prayer, living our life intention, living our life purpose, and getting to experience that on so many different levels, and seeing how cleansing and healing and liberating it can be to live in this way, a way that's surrendered to your spirit, your higher self. So I would love to now, and let's close our prayer with a vow and a blessing. Namaste.